Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to the Adventures Travel Club television show. Betty, we're on the Yangtze River.
Yeah, I know that because that's where we left off, isn't it? From the Yangtze River. A dirty river, but it's quite interesting to watch the different, look at like right now, the different.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah. What do you call that?
Well, that's just a little boat. Some of them are like sampans,
I don't think, is that...
But that's not.
I don't think that's a sampan. No,
I think that's just a little boat.
It's a carrier of utensils and buildings. No, not buildings. Well, whatever.
All sorts of good things. Oh, listen, I'll tell you what. Ray had his cell phone with him, and he was actually able to use that in China. I couldn't believe that.
Well, when you're a doctor, I guess you need to carry stuff like that with you just in case with his hospitals and duties.
Well, I know he had two phones, and now I've seen that they're advertised that all you need is one phone, and you can use it worldwide.
Yeah, we're never far away from home, are we, with all of the modern things that they have going today.
In fact, actually, in one of the cities in China that we visited, there was a whole block, and it was store after store after store after store after store of cell phones. And I think Ray went to check them out to see if he could find a good deal. None of them would work with our system, so it wasn't any good. It was good for the Chinese, but not so good for us, evidently. Betty, you mentioned that the river does have a lot of silt in it, and it does. In fact, they estimate that there's about 523 million tons of silt that comes down the river each year, and that's because way up in the mountain area they knocked out all the trees.
Now, is that partly also because of the dam?
That's something we'll cover in just a little bit. But right now, let's take a lesson in Tai Chi.
I would love it.
Tai Chi instructor, the Tai Chi master of Princess Elaine, and the person back there in the Tai Chi suit. And this is our entertainment manager, Marvin Chui. He's our Tai Chi instructor. The Tai Chi is very popular right now in China. So since you're in China and you're on our this cruise boat, so we would like to teach you Chinese Tai Chi. But before we teach you, Marvin would like to give you a demonstration of the whole set of Chinese Tai Chi. There are totally 24 movements. Alright, so first of all, let's welcome Marvin Chui to give us a demonstration of Chinese Tai Chi. Let's welcome him.
Well, Betty, I'm so proud of you because you were one of those that were sitting there watching, and then all of a sudden when he called for volunteers, you were the one, and there were several others in our group too that got up and did the Tai Chi, I can't even say it, Tai Chi exercise.
That surely didn't surprise you. That I got up and did something because
Oh no, because you always join in.
Always the
it,
volunteer.
Right.
But I'm thinking how much simpler it is to do. Well, it isn't such so simple really, but compared to going to the gym and doing aerobics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you find that this was an interesting thing to do?
No.
You mean you tried it, but it was something that you weren't going to stick with?
No,
huh?
I don't think so. It's a little too placid for me, but I have to have a little more movement.
Well, now you're a great walker. You walk every
every day.
Now, what if you walked and then did Tai Chi? Could you do Tai Chi as you're walking?
Well, anyway, I couldn't because I have earphones, because I read as I walk, and I think.
Now, wait a minute. You have earphones and you read as you
walk?
walk?
Yeah,
that
the books.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, the books are on tape.
Oh,
and so I am actually being read to.
Okay.
So I'm accomplishing my exercise. I'm accomplishing my mindset. And then if they would see me go ahead and do my hand lotions, they would
really
motions.
Huh?
They would really, because they think I'm crazy anyway because of my walking. I was the first one to walk, to do it as a regular thing. So my reputation. Oh, there's the lady that walks.
There's the lady that walks. Great.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, as we look on this great big river as we see here, you notice that this is really a super highway. You know, the amount of cargo that is going up and down the river, plus right here, as you can see, they line up to catch the ferry boat to go across from one side to the other. And while the people are waiting for the ferry boat, you notice that there's all sorts of little stores right there. So people are selling goods right there, or whether it happens to be food or whatever. And you know, that's the interesting thing in China. We found out that people go out to eat an awful lot, even for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because you see these little stalls everywhere, and some people just set up a little area right maybe on a sidewalk with a card table.
That tells you a little something about the economy, because if you can afford to buy your food instead of cooking it at home, that means you have to be in pretty good straits. You know?
I think so, probably so.
Even myself, I don't go do stuff like that. I cook it at home.
Well, sometimes it depends on what you cook. Sometimes it's less expensive to go out to dinner.
Not with what I cook. Not really. But anyway, this is and anyway, I don't eat off the streets in these places. You do.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of leery.
As long as I can watch and see how they prepare it and how how it's cooked, that type of thing. That I wouldn't. There's a lot of things I would not eat off the street. You're absolutely right. But some of the things are there, and we did that in China a couple times too. There you can see how much silt is in that water.
Marv, when we went to China before, I think about the story of Dorothy. Oh, I can't think of her last name. I think it was Hart. And she got soup. We were on the river like this.
Oh,
and she
on the Lee River,
yeah,
right.
and the Lee River. And she had a turtle soup, and the leg of the turtle was in the soup, and the skin, everything. She was thrilled to death, and she chawed away on that turtle leg, and I was going, oh my God, But to her, it was a pleasure.
It was a delicacy.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, there's your sampan, Betty.
Okay.
Yeah, now you notice that some of the guys are fishing out there. What amazes me is I don't know how the fish can survive in that water. These guys out here, though, these are water buffalo, and boy, they're used an awful lot by the Chinese as far as an animal that helps pull a plow and do other things too. But they were out there sunning this particular day that we were going on the river.
Now, why is it so misty?
Probably...
Was it smog that we had?
Yeah,
I forget.
Could have been a little smog. I'm not quite sure. Because we saw so many different types of temperatures. But we're going to listen to our guide now.
All right, can everybody see the map here? This is a relief map of China. Actually, this is a pretty good map, I think. Could you see the red line? That is the boundary line of China. And the shape of China looks like the Chinese topography. Looks like a rooster, right? Right. And from this relief map, it is quite clear that China's present topography is higher in the west and lower in the east. But however, back to many years ago, the China's say about 200 million years ago, the Chinese topography was totally different. It was higher in the east and lower in the west. About 200 million years ago, the only dry land of this region of the world was a bit of northeast, including China's present northeast and part of Mongol. And the rest of this whole region was covered by a great ocean, which was connected with the ancient Mediterranean Sea. So the geology of most of this area is made of ocean sediments, such as limestone, sandstones, or shale. And about 60 million years ago, the event that shaped Asia's landscape and determined today's climate began. Indian plate broke off from African continent and drifted north, pushed by Australian plate. This large ocean region uplifted, and the ocean itself began to drain off the land to the west. And about 45 million years ago, this large Indian plate and this ocean plate, the Indian plate rushed into this large ocean plate. Actually, they collided. The Great Collision created the largest land mass, Eurasian land mass in the world.
And this is the Yangtze. And this is the third largest river in the world. Do you know which one is the first one? The largest one? Amazon or Nile? This majority of it is Amazon. Okay. I think Nile. The Nile is the biggest one. No? Longest. Yeah, Nile is the longest one. Amazon in South America. That's the second one. And our river is the third one, the third longest river in the world. All right. Okay, maybe the fourth one. Do you know the fourth one? Yeah. I was told that Mississippi is the fourth longest river in the world. Anyway, this one is the third one. Okay. This river is very interesting. It has lots of different names because, of course, this river goes across lots of different places, different provinces and cities. So, because of poor transportation and communication, in ancient times, the people in different places had different names for the same river. And right now, we follow the same custom or tradition. But however, most of foreign people, they think this is the Yangtze. But however, the name of Yangtze is not as commonly used as Changjiang in China. Changjiang, C-H-A-N-G-J-I-A-N-G. Could you follow me? Changjiang, Changjiang, C-H-A-N-G. That's C-H you can pronounce like ch, yeah, ch. Changjiang, Changjiang. Yes. Okay, when you talk to Chinese people, when you say Yangtze, maybe some of them they don't know. Or if you see Changjiang, okay, everybody knows. Chang, that's a Chinese word, which means long, and Jiang means river. So, long river, simply. This river is about 6,300 kilometers, which is equal to about 3,900 miles long. That's the length of this river. And from the estuary, from the mouth of this river, all the way up about 2,000 kilometers upstream. That part of the river is known as Yangtze River. We do have a part of river which is known as Yangtze River, but that's just a little part, the 200 kilometers. Because the Westerners, they start to know this river from the mouth. And then the first part of the river they met is Yangtze. It's just a little part of this river which is known as Yangtze River. So anyway, that is why you call the whole river Yangtze River. From Shanghai, all the way specifically from estuary, all the way up to Hukou. Okay, here there is a place named Hukou because along the Yangtze River we have two largest freshwater lakes. The first one is the biggest one is Boyang Lake. Just right down here. Okay, that's the lower reaches of the Yangtze River. The distance is about 560 miles. That's the length of the lower reaches of the Yangtze River. And this part of the river is typified by a flat delta plain, crisscrossed by canals and waterways with soil so rich and water so abundant that part of the region is known for centuries as the land of fish and rice. And from Hukou, okay, here all the way to the entrance of the Three Gorges. At the entrance of the Three Gorges, there is a big city named Yicang, Y-I-C-H-A-N-G. That is the middle reaches of the Yangtze River. Right now, we are right in the middle reaches of the Yangtze River. And also this is the flooding plains. This part of the river, actually I think early this morning or later, you're gonna find a lot of levees or newly built levees. Did you see those levees on the both banks? Or even sometimes you may see the dozens of barges, the small barges with rocks waiting or stopping on shore there. Or sometimes you may see those rocks are dumped into the river. So people are reinforcing or repairing the levees. This part of the river is threatened by the floods every year. From about 600 AD, with the growth of the population in this area, local officials began to build the levees on the both banks. So far, because usually they just added the levees higher and higher as the floods are coming. So right now, right now those levees have already reached the maximum height. So this part of Yangtze River is the most flood-threatened region on the whole river.
Betty, did anybody ever tell you to go fly a kite?
Plenty of times. Plenty. I love these kites, Marv.
These are beautiful.
Yes, I wanted to get one. We had them at Tiananmen Square, and I just didn't do it.
You know what? I priced these on the boat.
Oh, yeah.
They were a little expensive.
Yeah, like $80.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That was surprising to me.
But look at them; they're real. I
Beautiful.
actually thought it was real when we were at Tiananmen Square, and it
looked like
swooped down on me. You know, yeah, they're that realistic.
They are. Well, this young lady was going to give us a little explanation, and she was introducing herself, and this was really wonderful. So we'll listen to a little bit of it now.
In the ancient China, there were two kingdoms. One was Chu, the other was Han. Both of them want to control whole China, so there has many battles. One time there has a battle just along the Yangtze River, and neither side could win. At that time, the general from Han, who named Han Xing, was very clever. He got a very special idea to make a hot kite with ox hide, and tell a small man who is good at playing flute. When the wind is good, they flew the kite to the enemy's camp, and the man who is on the kite was singing the enemy's homesick songs, and the songs made the enemies very homesick. They miss their wives and children, and they don't want to fight anymore. So the Emperor Han did his men win the war. There are four kinds of the kites: one is hard wing kite, soft wing kite, cirrus kite, and flat ones.
I learned a lot about kites on this trip. I mean, she had several other kites too and some of them she demonstrated, but she had a little shop that was open most of the time. And look at these. I mean, here's some real big kites and then some little tiny kites that she
I
had.
want to go back and buy one because I didn't get it before, but I want that big one.
Good.
For example, the baby swallow kites, and you see frame that has surround the kites. So this kind of the kites called hard wing kites. On the design, there has two bats on it, and the color is red. And bat in China means happiness, and the red bat means your happiness as high as the sky. Just like this kind, the bat. And this kind is the soft wing kite. You see the difference of the two kites. The top have the frame, but the bottom haven't. Because the bottom haven't.
Well, now we have learned a little bit more about kites, and the boat was a great place to fly from because there was a lot of wind that particular day, as you could probably hear in her microphone as well. This was a very enjoyable thing.
It was entertaining,
Yeah,
you know, really.
it was.
And when you're on a boat for a long time, if the more distractions, I call it a distraction, that you can have, the more fun it is, really, for the enjoyment.
You only
of-
watch so much scenery go
Yeah,
by, right? But this is what I really love. This cruise, and you know the other one that we did on the Nile. I mean, you just keep looking around, and there was just so much to see, and again, so much to do here. Now she has a kite here. Look at this one, Betty. This is an interesting one. Sometimes I've when you go up to San Francisco in the Marina area,
Yeah.
and people fly kites in that little green area all the time, just beautiful kites.
We were kite flyers, and my kids loved them. But my gosh, I wore myself out running, helping them run with it, to kind of give it the elevation. I'm sure all you parents out there have done that.
Probably so. Good exercise, though, I suspect, right?
Well, I guess.
Anyway, she had a variety of kites, and then she had a little shop there that was open on the ship too, so you could talk to her a little bit more and learn more about the kites as well. But this little young man, he was really interested in flying the Hawk thing, and before we started filming, he didn't have too much success with it until she helped him get it up there in the air. Pardon me. It is windy out there. Anyway, so much about the kites. That was fun. Now we're going to go inside and have some entertainment.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're happy to have you here this evening. Tonight we have a lot of fun planned out for you. One interesting thing about this is all the actors here they're very, very professional, but you'll also see them doing other things around the boat. Try to recognize some of the faces, and tomorrow when you go to lunch or when you're walking around, see if you notice any of the faces cleaning your rooms or different things like that. It's a lot of fun. All the people on the boat, they just on the side, they'll come and dance for us and sing. And they're all very talented.
Well, Betty, I never thought I would hear the sound of music in Chinese.
In Chinese, isn't that funny? It made me think one time we had a Christmas show here at work, and they were all singing Silent Night in different languages, and I sang in Chinese.
Did you?
Only it wasn't Chinese, but I fooled them, and they came up, Betty, where did you learn Chinese? Oh, I had
Did you tell them you'd been to China a few times?
Yeah, I had fun with that. It was really fun. I just fooled them. But you can fool some of the people some of the time,
And then some of the people
Yeah.
found out. Huh?
Yeah. Amen. That is so true.
Well, we are now going to go through the locks. At least we're going to start that, and we'll see more about that on our next program. There is a dam here, and I don't know how to pronounce this. I'll spell it for you. It's Gezhouba. And this dam currently, right now, is the largest, what they call a coffer dam in China. It's 8,202 feet wide, 154 feet high, and we're going to listen to our guide as he explains a little bit about the locks to us.
Yeah, the main channel of the river is behind this island here. That's the main part of the river. Yeah. Now we're just in the channel for entering ship lock number 2 and number 3. So together, the dam has 3 ship locks. Yeah, 3 ship locks, number 1, number 2, and number 3. And number 1 is far behind the left side, River here is very wide. And this channel, we can go entering number 2. And number 3 ship lock is there as well. Yeah. So this channel is ship lock number 2 and number 3. Yeah, number 3. So altogether is 3 ship locks. We started building this dam in 1971. Yeah, 1971. The ship locks were finished in 1981. On the whole project, we finished in 1989. Yeah, 1989. And this is the first permanent dam on the river. Yeah, first permanent dam on the main river. Yeah. And also, this is a test project for the big dam, big three-gorge dam.
Well, Betty, on our next show, we will go through the locks, and it's a very, very interesting journey that we take because a lot of the big boats and the little boats are all together, and it's just very, very interesting to watch. You know, we are rapidly running out of time, so you have a lot of trips coming up, Betty, right?
I sure do. Give me a ring, huh? 559-488-7443, and I'll fill you in.
Yeah, and Betty, you've added some trips since we started this series of shows, and she's got a lot to tell you about. In fact, after the program here, we'll have a little promo on some of the trips that we do have coming up. However, you need to give Betty a call if you're interested. Again, 488-7443. We will see you next time as we go through the locks. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.